Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 51 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host, Risky the Kid, and joining me this week is my co-host, Moose.
What's up, guys?
And in our rotating third chair for today, community member 10,000 Fists.
Hello, hello.
What's going on, Fists? How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Guess I'm going to be your resident Brit for the day.
Yep, so as Fists alluded to, Chocolate is not going to make the show today. Not because it's Mother's Day, which it's not for you guys anyways.
No, it's about a month ago for us.
That's so weird that Mother's Day is different. Like, just pick a universal day, right? That makes the most sense.
When's
Yeah,
Father's
Mexican
Day?
Mother's Day was yesterday. So,
Did you say Mexican Mother's Day?
correct. Yep, in Mexico it was Mother's Day yesterday.
I like that you know that.
So, following certain people on social media, you learn things.
Fair enough.
But
yeah.
it's also convenient that the Champions League final is today, and Chocolate happened to call in sick.
Oh,
Yeah, right as it was about to start, huh?
It's not Champions League fight. It's just the final day of the Premier League today. So, like, every single team in the league is
Please
playing.
don't murder me.
Yeah, just
Please ignore our soccer ignorance.
just rescuing you before you dig yourself any deeper, Moose.
Perfect.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
shut up now.
I say we're already getting yelled at in chat. So this is our first live episode in Discord. Definitely having a few hiccups at the moment, but if you are there, shout out to you. And Chocolate not being here this episode, he will be there for episode 52. At least that's what we hope.
That's what he says.
We shall. That's what he says, at least. That's what he always says, though. So we shall see. All right. Well, this episode is a Patreon episode, so let's get right into that. We are gonna throw some names into the Patreon hopper
Get
and
to the
pick
good
someone.
stuff.
Get to the thing that everybody's here for.
That's right.
All right. Drum roll, please. Woo, that was a good one. And the winner is Troubadour XP.
Nice. Congrats, Tro.
Congratulations.
Tro, congrats, buddy. Reach out to me and we'll get you a game, get you something real nice.
And now that I'm no longer eligible for the Patreon drawings, I'm actually happy for you, sir.
No longer has to grit his teeth.
That's right.
One thing that I will touch on before we leave the whole Patreon section, if you are joining us live in Discord from now on, you do get one entry into our live Patreon drawings. So anybody that's in chat, I threw your names into there as well. But the people that are subbed on Patreon obviously get a few more entries depending on what tier they're at. And we just kind of reworked some stuff recently, made some changes to that. So if you want to check any of that stuff out, head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. And the next game drawing is going to be the second podcast of whatever month comes after May.
June would be.
Yep.
At least over here. I don't know how your guys' calendar is overseas.
Well, they put the day before the month when they're writing it out. So
Right. It's just wrong to start with.
yeah, you can't fight them on these things. All right, yeah. So congrats, Tro, for that. Next up, let's talk about our Cross Atlantic Gaming Community Play that went on this past Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, that's correct. It was a great time.
That was a lot of fun. Shout out to Viva Le Sweeney for setting that whole thing up. We played some Rocket League. That was what we had a vote in chat, and I think that's what ended up winning. Good turnout. We had too many people.
We did.
we
had to have people sit on the sides.
And then even when we had people sit on the sides, we still had to have someone not even be in the lobby because only X amount of people can spectate,
That's
which
right.
I didn't realize. That's silly. I feel like you should be able to have as many people like watching. Like that's
Right.
How is that affecting the game in any way? So that was kind of weird. Shout out to everybody that made it though. That was a lot of fun. That's I haven't played Rocket League in quite some time. MVP was definitely
You.
Ibrink though. Holy wow.
He said, I remember him saying that he has about 600 hours logged into
Yeah,
Rocket League. So if you want to get good, that's kind of what it takes. I don't know what you have, Risky, but it's got to be up there somewhere because both you jerks were just flying around the top of the map while the rest of us were watching.
That's how you win. You got to turn yourself into a jet fighter and go for it.
The way I see it was the rest of us were playing Rocket League. Like Ibrink was clearly playing Quidditch. Like,
yeah, right. They were trying to catch that golden sneech, right, Ryan?
like because he was always like flying through the air to hit the ball like from angles that none of the rest of us would ever get into.
Nope.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It couldn't even be a fair fight unless it was like me and Dan Pot on one side and then him on the other. Because it was impossible.
We had a special appearance by the one and only MC Shore, also known as the Meg. And
we sure did.
She's better than Chocolate, so.
Yeah, I wish they 1v1'd. Chocolate dipped out quick.
Chocolate pulled a Chocolate, basically. He's the guy that shows up at the party, shakes everybody's hands, and dips out the back door before anybody knows he's gone.
Yeah, that feels about right. And it was funny because he was like, all right, well, hey, I'm going to go play my FIFA matches. And then I figured that he would just kind of like stay in the party talking with everyone. And then he just like left the party too and just gone.
He gone.
40 minutes into community play.
He's the kind of person that when he plays FIFA, he needs absolute silence to concentrate. He doesn't like talking to anyone when he's doing his weekend league stuff.
Yeah, Ryan said that Meg was pulling off some insane saves in chat.
I think that's fair. She's turning into quite the little gamer,
She is.
It's weird, dude. I was downstairs watching the NCAA lacrosse finals are going on, and Syracuse had their first round, so I was down there watching it, and I was like, where is she? And she's just upstairs playing Call of Duty by herself in my desk.
He's in chat right now, and he did bring up that he shoved her out of the way to score a goal, and he's super proud of that.
Yep.
They were on the same team, and he basically knocked her out of the way and took the goal away from her.
Good for you, Joe.
He's like, oh, guys, everybody watch this. And then I pointed out that he shoved a girl down and scored a goal and was proud of himself, and he left shortly after that, didn't he?
Oh, it's not easy not being able to defend yourself, huh, Chocolate?
To be fair, though, like, it just shows that he's willing to push down, male or female. He's being equal. It's equal opportunities.
Win at all costs.
Here.
That's right. What is it? Time's up. Equal pay for equal jobs.
Yep, what Moose said, I guess. Yeah, so the next community play is going to be not this upcoming week, but the week after. I think Sweeney is trying to set them up twice a month at this point. Yep. So it gives people just one more opportunity to get in on some of the stuff. It was a ton of fun, though. Yeah, so I just wanted to shout out the people that made it out quick, just as a little special recognition.
You got it. You nailed it. That was the word.
Recognition.
Give them a little extra recognition. There it is. Recognition.
Somebody's got to screw up the English language since Chocolate's not here to do it. So
yeah, all he's got to do is schedule these podcasts nice and early. I mean, I guess that was partly my fault. Anyways, so I mean, us three were there. Fists, me, Moose, and then Chocolate was also there for a little bit. I don't know if he gets any recognition for his showing.
The Chocolate.
We also had
more from him, right?
It's true. Sir Moxlot, Ryan, Lion Prime, Dan Pod, Ibrink, and the Meg. Thank you for turning up, everyone. And Sweeney, thanks for handling all those community plays going forward. A lot of fun. All right, hey.
Just before you start, Risky, he did post
What's up?
The next vote for the community play. It's, I believe, in the...
Oh, it's in Discord.
Yeah, in the Discord. And just put your little emote next to the Titanfall 2 symbol, and we'll be good.
I put it next to the Battlefront 2 symbol.
I guess I can play some Stir Wars. That's fine.
I have yet to vote.
But
I haven't
also,
played that game in ages.
You don't have to do this, but if you have no intention on playing in the community play, don't vote to swing it one way or the other.
Yep, I think that's fair. I think that might have been how we ended up on Rocket League.
Exactly.
But it saved me from having to play FIFA. So
true too.
It worked out. All right, what have we been playing this week? Guests first. Fist, I don't think you've been on to talk about Mortal Kombat 11.
No, not since it came out.
how is the 11th installment of that punch each other in the face game?
It is amazing. I absolutely. I've long been a Mortal Kombat fan since the franchise started. And it just, for me, it just seems that especially as of late, since they rebooted the series back for Mortal Kombat 9, it's just constantly getting better and better. Like the visuals, if you're into like the whole gory stuff, it doesn't turn your stomach, then the fatalities just seem to get better and better every game. As with NetherRealm, the way that they've proven with both Mortal Kombat and their Injustice games, the story modes just seem to get better and better.
Yeah, it's funny because I read this tweet somewhere, but it was one of the NetherRealm developers said that he was having like super vivid nightmares because he was the one working on all the fatalities. That was like his job was just working and like just thinking up all these horrific ways to murder people.
Like, yeah, some of the fatalities, like, they are brutal. There's absolutely no denying that. Some of them you'll see them and you're like, yeah, that's kind of about what you'd expect of Mortal Kombat. But then there's other ones where you're like, what, this has gone to a completely new level. Where even if you thought it couldn't go to another level, it can. With some of those fatalities, it can be. Like, there's no denying it's not going to be everyone's. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, as we'd put it over here.
It looks cool. I'm just terrible at fighting games, so
I
watch.
It's
definitely more fun watching people that are super skilled at fighting games than trying to do it myself.
I can imagine. Like, it's like, even though I'm not the greatest of fighting game players, even with Mortal Kombat, even though I love playing them, there's loads more people out there that are better than me. I'm probably average at best when it comes to playing it, but I just enjoy the games that much that I don't care.
Like, how's the story in this one? I know that's always something that happens in these games.
The story is really good. It's like, everyone always thinks, like, whenever I tell people about the story mode, they're like, but it's a fighting game, like, how does it have a story? And it's kind of like, it's the way that a story works is that it's basically, there's a hell of a lot of cutscenes, and it's kind of, think of it more as like an interactive movie than an actual story mode, because, like, obviously when you're actually playing the story mode, all you're going to be doing is fighting whenever you're actually playing the game. It's
literally just the fights, yeah.
So it's just the bits, you're basically just doing the bits in the fighting scenes in between, like, all of the actual story mode. The last game, MKX, like, they had quick time events and stuff in a lot of their cutscenes. They've gotten rid of all of the quick time events.
Did people not like that?
A lot of people did complain. So there are certain type of gamers that they just don't like the whole quick time thing, because it was just getting overdone in a lot of.
That's me. Other than God of War and Spider-Man, those are the two that I could tolerate it in.
Yeah, so I can sort of understand why people would feel like that, but I wouldn't have minded either way whether quick time events were in there or not. It just means that it would keep you on your toes, and you need to be paying attention to what's going on in the cutscenes, because
you can't just skip those cutscenes then, Moose. You'd actually have to stay on your toes and hit some buttons. Exactly.
Hey, Fist, is Ronda Rousey a big part of the storyline? I assume she is, if she's the big name that they brought out.
I wouldn't say that she herself is like her. She does the voice of Sonya Blade.
Sonya, right?
Yeah, in the game. I wouldn't say she has like a huge part.
More than anybody else
in the story. Yeah, she's not got any larger a part than any of the other characters in the game.
Gotcha.
But the one thing when it comes to that, whether this is in the story mode or in any of the other modes on Mortal Kombat, I think this is one of the few things about the game that I'm not so keen on. I'd just like to say I don't have a problem with the fact that it's Ronda Rousey doing the voice of Sonya Blade, but because they've made such a big deal of it and sort of made it very clear she's doing the voice. Now, whenever I fight Sonya Blade, I never think to myself, "Oh, I'm fighting Sonya Blade." I now think, "Oh, now I'm fighting Ronda Rousey."
Oh yeah, that really takes you out of it.
It kind of, yeah, it's kind of like whenever I hear Sonya talk, I'm not hearing Sonya, I'm hearing Ronda, and it's like, yeah, I kind of feel like I'm losing the immersion a little bit.
Right. And once that's put into your head, you're never ever gonna hear Sonya again. When you play that.
So it's kind of it's taken away a little bit, like from like, just that one character. And I hate to think that because she did an all right job. I think she did an all right job with voicing the character. It's not that she's like, you can tell she's obviously not a voice actor, like from some of the performance in the story, but she did all right. But it's just the fact that she, like, because she's like that well known, like when you hear the voice, you know it's her, and like it's just difficult to separate the two and actually look. You see Sonya Blade, but you hear Ronda Rousey, so it's difficult to sort of get that sort of, you know what I mean? It's just it doesn't quite work, like because I think because they made such a big deal of it being Ronda Rousey. It's just sort of taken away from the character and the Mortal Kombat story a little bit, but only a little bit.
It kind of reminds me of Nicolas Cage and anything he's done since about 2010. He's just a crazy guy. So
yeah,
you see Nicolas Cage in every role he's played since then. So it's hard to see anything else.
But overall, I do absolutely love the game. There's a load of different game modes to take part in. Obviously, it's a fighting game, so all you're really doing is fighting. You've got like the different modifiers that can affect the fights. So you may have to fight against somebody who's like stealing health from you while you're fighting them, or similar type of things like that. There was a little bit of controversy when the game came out because there are quite a few different currencies in the game. Because one thing that they've brought over from Injustice to this game is the fact that you can modify all of your characters. So like
Couldn't you modify their armor and stuff?
Yeah, like as you're playing, I think you can. I never actually played the Injustice games, but I did see like clips and stuff on YouTube and whatever. So in this, like each character has like a load of different, like they have 3 different gear pieces that you can unlock like a load of different variations for. So like for example, Scorpion, who's probably one of my favorite characters to play as, has like you can unlock a load of different masks for him. You can unlock a load of different katanas and his rope spear that he throws out. Like you can unlock loads of different variations of that, and then you can unlock different skins. So like in the past, where you had to pick between like 3 different variations of a character that would affect how they looked and what moves they had and stuff. The game's now at a point where it's basically right. You pick a base character and you sort of build around that. So you pick what you want your character to look like, and you pick out the extra special moves that character has on top of like a sort of base core set of moves.
So do these items give them buffs at all, or is it all cosmetic plus the moveset?
All the items that you unlock, like the gear stuff, the 3 gear slots, they do have, like as you earn enough experience, you'll unlock augment slots so that you can put like bonus augments in. So if you're wearing a particular mask that has an augment in it, you can do maybe 10% extra damage with a particular type of like bonus fire damage, for example, if your character does that.
Gotcha. Similar to the engravings in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you can put engravings on your weapons that gives them perks and bonuses.
Yeah, there is quite a lot to the game. There was a little bit of controversy at first because of the fact that the game was very, very grindy. Like all I was saying before, there's a lot of different currencies in the game, and one particular game mode where you earn all of these currencies is called the Towers of Time. And like the rewards were extremely. They weren't great. They were like you were putting in a lot of work against some really, really tough opponents and not getting like. You weren't getting properly rewarded for it.
Not getting rewarded for your time at all.
Yeah, so after about a week, NetherRealm did patch all of that. They made it so they removed a lot of the really, really difficult modifiers. in the Towers of Time. They did buff the rewards. They were very, very quick to sort of get back on top of that and balance the game. Balance that particular game mode, I should say, and it's definitely a lot better now. There's still an element of grinding in that particular area of the game. If you want to unlock all the different gear for all the different characters, all the different skins, and all that sort of stuff, then you still need to put some time in, but definitely nowhere near as much as you would have done if you were playing the game in that first week.
So good for all the people that waited.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just kind of becoming
it was only a week,
games, right?
like,
wait 2 weeks for them to figure everything out and then buy the game. And it's also usually on sale by 10 to 50% off.
I would have thought that all the people that bought it in that first week or had it pre-ordered were going to be the kind of people that were probably going to be happy to do all that grinding anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So, I'm sorry, like, there's gardening work going on not too far away from me if you can hear a chainsaw or anything in the background. But, yeah, it's definitely better now. Like NetherRealm, like I said, were very quick to get onto that and fix it, and people are a lot happier now. The online mode, I've not actually jumped into any online matches or anything yet myself. I've only done like the story mode, and I've just been focused on the Towers of Time, just earning as much of the different currencies as possible to go into an area of the game called the Crypt, which is where you spend all your currency to buy, like, you unopen chests to get that's where you find like all your different skins and all that sort of stuff.
Good deal. So sounds like you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
All right. Moose.
Yes,
I'm excited for you to tell us a story about Descenders and why you were so bad at it.
Because it was the first time I played. I always make the mistake of streaming games when I've never played them before, and then people like Risky come on and talk trash in my chat and tell me to get good.
So the Descenders was a game that we had mentioned last week that it was coming out to Gamepass in its 1.0 version. So Moose, you had a chance to play it. Initial impressions?
My initial impressions came about this time last year, and I was not a fan at all because I got it in early access.
In game preview?
And it's come... Correct. Game preview, I apologize. And it's come a long ways. It looks pretty. And playing it, Risky taught me a few things about the game. He said, "Did you know what? This is a roguelite." And I was like, "It is." Because basically you have...
Which is so weird.
Yeah, you have like 3 lives, and it's just a downhill mountain bike race simulator, basically. And it does have the controls that are going to take a little bit to get used to, with your steering on your left thumbstick and then you're leaning on your right thumbstick. But once you get that down, you can become pretty efficient. And then also, another thing I figured out, pro tip, if you're using a pro controller, turn off your trigger locks, because if not, you're only going half speed.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, because I was going downhill and all these people are just, because it's procedurally generated, but there's other people on the maps as well. So people are just flying by me, and I'm like, how is he pedaling so fast? And then later in the day, I went to turn it back on, and I clicked off my my locks, and lo and behold, I had full speed again. But
yeah, when you told me that, because I was tuned into your stream when I was watching it, and I was watching these dudes just fly by you, and I was like, well, maybe they have better bikes or something,
That's what I
but
thought.
maybe they just have better brains.
Hey, you don't think about that all the time. That's happened to me, I think, in 2 games that trigger locks have affected me: Forza and now this game. So it's not a common thing that comes up.
Yeah, it usually doesn't matter until you need that thing pushed all the way down.
Right. But this game, it's good. It's good to just kind of jump in, and you can play 10, 15, 20 minute spurts at a time. And basically what I've gotten from it now, I'm still not great at it, but you get you can choose your own levels. Basically, you start at one end of the top left of a topography of a mountain, and you got to work your way down to what they call the boss jump. And in the first level, the boss jump is you jump over a train on a trestle bridge. And they give you bonuses to do within each level, and if you do those, you get an extra life at the end. And once you're out of lives, you're done. You have to start over. I got to.
It's such a cool idea.
Yeah,
Like,
and once you get good at it, because you know it's i.e. Tony Hawk. Hold down certain buttons and push your thumbstick in a different direction, and you've got all your trick menus and all that stuff. Plus, you've got your back flips, your front flips, your 360s, all that stuff as well. And once I get good at this game, I think I'll have a lot of fun at it. But at this point, it's I'm getting better. The last time I played it, it only took me about, I think, 1 life and about 10 minutes to get through the boss jump and to the jungle. But there's four biomes, and I've only unlocked the first 2 so far.
Yeah, it's I meant to check it out. Of course I didn't. I'm bad at budgeting my time.
Well, when you play Blackout 400 hours a week, it's tough to do anything else.
Okay, hey, I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves lately too. Okay. It's at least 2 games, not just 1.
Right.
Sweet.
There's multiplayer in there too, so we could try it. Maybe we should try it one night with just a couple of people, and then we could throw it up for the community play and just see what happens.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. Like, so if 2 people go out and one person loses all their lives, like, quicker, do they just sit and watch? Or,
right. Yeah, I have to figure that out.
But yeah, I know that was a big part of their whole 1.0 release was, hey, there's multiplayer.
Right.
But hey, is it like Battle Royale where it's going to be like last person standing? So everybody just has to watch as they lose all their lives.
Or road rage down the mountain, and you just kick people off their bikes down the path. Yeah. That would be so amazing.
I mean, that's best case scenario.
Bats and chains and everything.
Awesome. So besides the normal stuff I've been playing, one thing I picked up this week was Skyforce Reloaded, which I stumbled upon this game because I was doing my like Xbox quests or whatever, my stuff for the Microsoft rewards, and I had to play or get X amount of achievements through ID at Xbox games. And I saw this one, I downloaded it and started it. It's a top-down bullet hell kind of game where, like, think Glaga, but you can move up and down the screen, one of those types of games, and you're just a spaceship, and you're killing everything. There's different levels, and you're collecting stars as you're killing things. That's your currency. And then after every mission, whether you die or get to the end of it, you can go to your garage, and you can start to upgrade things like shields, things like blasters, a magnet, which pulls in all the currency when it explodes on the screen. It's a super simple game, and after playing a few levels of it, I was like, why does this feel so familiar? This was released as a mobile game in 2017 where you just use your thumb to do it, and it would just shoot all the time. And apparently it was released on Xbox at the same time. But so I had actually played it before, and it took me a while to realize it, but it's really good for one of these games. It's got super good reviews too. It has a good way of making you feel more powerful as you start to level things up, because like as you're leveling up your main blaster, it's doing more damage, it's shooting faster. So then if you take your upgraded ship into like some of the first levels, you can just destroy things, because every level also has 4 challenges, and those are the things you need to complete to unlock the next level. Like you need to have 20 challenges done to open up World 6 or something. So you're going to go back and do a run without taking any damage, or do a run with killing every single person on the map, that kind of thing. So it's really good with its progression and that power creep, and just making you feel super powerful when you go back to those old levels. And then the old levels actually have multiple tiers of difficulty too. So it's like you're going to start on easy, go to hard, and then I think elite is the last one. But if you're into bullet hell games, it's really good, and it's free through Gamepass. So,
yeah, I definitely played this on mobile. Everything you were saying, I was like, I swear I've played this game before, but not on Xbox. And then you're like,
yeah,
I definitely played that game, and I remember it. So it must have been fun.
It translates pretty well to mobile too, which from what I remember. So, which seems tough with a game that you need that much skill, like in the harder levels, to just be avoiding constant bullets being shot at you.
Yeah, I think you basically just drag your finger around the screen, and that's where the ship goes, and then you hold a button down on the right hand of the screen to fire, I believe.
Something, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good one though. So definitely check it out. One thing I think we've all been playing at least a little bit, and we may have talked about it a bunch last week, but that is Sea of Thieves. Anyone have any updates on Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, I'm on my way to being a master fisherman.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair.
We played last night, and once you guys all got off, me and Risky and Dan and a guy that Risky worked with played last night, and they all got off, and I moved back out and went back in and got my own sloop and went and collected some bait and went over to the dock of the fishing guy, and I caught like 4 trophy fish just off the dock of the seaport. So,
and then cooked them all up and sold them?
Exactly. So I'm almost level 5 commendation on my hunter faction now, and I've got a sweet hunter's coat or something, and the fishing's fun. It's got me hooked. Haha.
Man, that's punny.
Right. Me and Lion have been playing it together just recently, because he just recently got Game Pass. And that
is this his first time playing it?
Yeah, like just over the last couple. Like you may have seen like me and Lion putting out posts in the looking for
gamers
thing
LFG.
recently. Yep. Yeah, so I'd played it a handful of times before with Doc.
That makes sense. I feel like that's something that everyone can say in this Discord.
90 hours last year.
Huh?
I have 90 hours in Sea of Thieves last year, and I assume most of those were with Doc.
Oh man.
Yep.
I'd only put in a couple of hours worth, but I still don't really know a great deal about the game in terms of how it works and what you do. And Lion was completely new to the game, so we just thought, right, we'll just go in the 2 of us and just see what happens.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, though. To learn it and experience it like fresh.
Yeah, we're still figuring a lot of stuff out.
There's not
we're
a
just
whole lot
having
of
a laugh,
hand-holding,
just messing around and stuff. We had one incident that was quite funny, because we had I don't remember ever actually being able to cook food. Like,
that's brand new.
That's a pretty new thing. So there was a bit of an incident with eating raw meat recently between me and Lion, and we ended up
over Lion.
I puked all over him. He ended up puking back all over me.
Oh my god!
We had
picture it now.
It was disgusting and funny at the same time. And then to top that all off, we both had our first encounter with a kraken yesterday.
Oh god!
Not only
How'd
that.
you fare?
We tried to run away, but then I've recorded this, so I'm going to put the video up on the Xbox Club at some point later today. While we were running away from the Kraken, we were still within the sort of tentacles. A megalodon showed up.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
We were literally
Double
getting
whammy.
circled by a megalodon while we were trying to escape the Kraken.
Oh my god!
We couldn't.
That's
absolutely
really worst
could not
case scenario.
believe it. We were on a.
Sounds
we were
like
only
the
on
ocean wanted you boys that day.
We were only on a 2-man ship. Like we are not the greatest at sailing. Like we've had many accidents. We're not being very environmentally friendly with the amount of wood we're having to use to patch up our ship.
Chopping down whole forests.
Pretty much just to keep our 2-man ship afloat.
That sounds like a pretty rough way to throw some people that are new to the game. Just hey, let's give them a Kraken and then a Megalodon. Yep, that'll do.
Turn it off and never play
it definitely
again.
was. I think the one thing that's frustrating me is whenever we go onto an island, we're encountering a lot of those skeletons that have the explosive barrels, and we can I can never ever get away from them. As soon as one of them spawns,
there's so many of them now.
As soon as one of them
Sometimes
spawns,
the
I know I'm
strategy
dead.
is just to take one for your team and run at them and tell everybody else to run the other way.
Yeah, well, we both try and run away. They still somehow catch me.
They're faster than you.
Yeah,
I'd say they're also the fastest skeletons somehow, and they're also the most deadly. Like it's just the worst.
Yeah, and you can't exactly shoot at them because like you have to reload after every shot. So if you don't kill them with the first shot, you're guaranteed to be dead anyway.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's even if you do get a shot on the barrel guys, it's like half the time I end up shooting them, but I'm like just in their range, so they still end up exploding and killing me. It's just the worst.
Yeah,
So,
They are the worst.
how is Lion as far as starting the game? Because that game doesn't hold your hand at all. It doesn't tell you anything really.
no, we were talking about that, how it would be nice if they gave you like a little bit of a tutorial for certain things,
Any
rather
Yeah,
than
just how to use your
Yeah.
wheels and eat bananas to heal. All that stuff's trial by fire, which
yeah.
I
it's
know how to do
literally
it
there
all
is
now.
no hand holding whatsoever.
It's a great game,
Which I
though.
don't-
And it's the good thing about it too is I'm looking for a game right now to play with my nephew, and it's a perfect game to play with most ages. So there's not a ton
Yeah,
of
definitely.
violence. If parents can get past the drinking into a puking state, that's
In
about.
which if you don't show them that,
Yeah,
they
this is
they
what
don't ever have to
happens.
see it.
This is why you do everything in moderation.
This. Oh,
So yeah, Lion has said to me though he is very much enjoying the game. It's something different because we're always usually the two of us are just playing either PUBG or FIFA. It's usually
Something super
it's
intense.
just something different. That it gives a totally different gaming experience that is a lot of fun. And I think
you guys-
what's probably funniest
Right.
about this is the fact that we're talking about how fun this is and how much we're all enjoying it, and Doc's not here.
yeah,
I
right.
know.
Like,
The master,
he's probably
the
sat
captain
there
of
right
the
now listening to
seas.
this, and he's like, "It took you all this time to get on my level with this game."
Right.
He's just yelling at his head. He's yelling at his earbuds. Right? I told you, idiots.
To be fair, though, like this is all happening because of the anniversary update. Like they
Right.
just injected so much content into the game that it's bringing back people. When this game first launched and Doc was head over heels for it, it was not that good of a game, and I feel comfortable saying that. There was not enough to do. It was just a boring Sea of Thieves at that point.
It just turned into to trolling of the seas, basically.
That's all it was. It's just people just trying to kill each other. And now they have a whole new mode where you just go into the arena and you can just kill each other, and that's all you can do if you
Right.
want. So if we didn't have this update, I don't think we'd have this revitalization of this game like within our community.
Yeah,
So it's been cool to watch everybody get back into this for sure.
I've noticed because I haven't played
it's definitely
a ton.
lot of fun.
But you can tell nobody's trying to attack each other out on the seas anymore. You just see ships going by, and maybe they got one guy that'll jump off and try to come steal a chest off your boat, but nobody's trying to sink each other anymore because they have that campaign. Did you guys play any of that, Lion? I think we did Shroudbreaker last night, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think we've done a little bit. It was getting a bit late, so
Okay.
we ended up.
That's not something that I would want to start late because it hurts your brain.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And
We were
especially
trying
if you don't have somebody that's a veteran on there that kind of knows the map, and because the clues are sometimes pretty vague. Like last night, we had to
They're
find an
super
island
cryptic.
that was not charted in between two other islands. So basically, we had to set a plot of a straight line between these two islands, and then just go till we hit something.
That was basically the point that me and Lime were at last night, and I was just too tired. It was like about
Yeah.
1:30 in the morning. I was like, no, I'll come back and do this some other time, because like trying to work out exactly where we're meant to be looking for this shipwreck to find the ship's log or whatever it is. I don't know.
right.
Right.
It's one of those games where if you don't have like at least a couple hours, like is it even worth
Right.
getting in there? Because I feel like everything you do in that game ends up taking 2-3 hours.
Exactly.
Like no matter what,
That's like-
because there's
Yeah.
always the one more thing.
Yeah, the
Sets in.
hidden bottles, and now they put all sorts of shiny pieces. You swim around an island, and there's all sorts of shiny things on the ground, and
That's one thing I will say I love is the amount of treasure you can now find like underwater. Like there's no reason to ever look underwater before this update, but now if you're at an island, just dip down into the water and just kind of look around.
Yeah.
If you see something sparkly, go get it. And I feel like a lot of the times we were running into that.
And if
so.
you don't, the underwater world is so beautiful. The coral, the Atlantean type decorations and statues, and it's a whole
Yes.
other world under the water. It's so cool.
Especially with the intro to the PvE, like the quest thing, the story content, you're seeing a lot of worlds that are built underwater.
Right.
And, like seeing that kind of stuff, it's Sea of Thieves is good, guys.
It is.
It's good. You should be hopping in right now. I wish this was the game that we got
last year,
a year ago. I guess this was the anniversary update, so that makes sense. I wish this is what it was at release. But that just means that this is a great a great time to hop in at least. And I'm pumped to see that Prime's having a good time. It's fun.
Yeah, if any of yous are playing it and you see me or Lion in a party playing it, then please join us. We need the help.
Need some guidance.
Yes, we neither of us are experienced enough at the game to really know what we're doing. I've been trying to keep an eye out for if Doc's ever online, because I know that he'll be the perfect person to come and join us.
Well, I can always
100%.
jump on your boat, but I'll just shout tips from the front of the boat as I'm fishing.
Yeah, yep. I'd be like, "Hey, put down the mast," and he'd be like, "Yeah, I got a
fish
line
on,
out."
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, thanks for nothing.
Hey, I cooked you fish, sir.
You did. Thank you. I appreciate that. Always appreciate that. All right. Does anybody else have anything that is not our Game Pass roulette game?
No,
It's
I
just
don't think so.
usual
Yep.
suspects.
Played more of the
for me.
same games that I played last week.
Yep. PUBG, Blackout, Sea of Thieves. Perfect. All right. Well, hey, this is a Game Pass roulette episode, so let's get into some Game Pass roulette. All right. So our game for Game Pass roulette that has been going on for what feels like a month now, because we missed this a couple times. That game is Payday 2. What I know you two actually partied up the other day and got to play it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this gem?
We played a little bit yesterday, and Fist kind of gave me a crash course of both stealth and go loud. And as you guys would probably suspect, I'm a big fan of the go loud mode.
This seems accurate, yes.
And then on the stealth mode, basically, I just followed Fist around and asked him questions the whole time. So I was like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, it was because this is a game that that both me and Lion used to play quite a lot, several years ago. We I think both me and Lion are both Prestige 2 in the game. You can level up and stuff.
So yeah, that's some hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the difficulty of the first level that we played?
Very hard.
It was like 2 or 3 skulls. But
Right.
I made a cool half a mil and bought a gold AK-47, so...
Yeah, right. I kind of thought, right, well, if this is Moose's first time playing it, it wasn't Chocolate's first time playing it. Me and him have played it a handful of times before, but he was probably still pretty much just as much a noob at it as Moose was.
No, he just played like Chocolate.
But I thought what the whole point, obviously, with Moose and Chocolate having planned on being on the podcast today, the point was to take them through sort of a couple of missions that sort of vary and what type of missions they were, so they've got a sort of general idea of the different contrast in missions that you can do in the game. So the first job that we did was a bank job, where the whole point we were trying to be as stealthy as possible, not have the police get called in via a silent alarm, and be able to pull off this bank job without having to... We're basically as few kills as possible.
Right.
But
So
don't
we
worry, I
ended up-
tied up a lot of people.
Yeah,
That's
he
important.
ran out of cable ties.
If they're tied up, they can't be hitting the stupid silent alarms. So.
Yeah, I
Well,
had
to be, but the
ask,
only two people that could hit the silent alarms were the bank tellers, and I just killed them.
Right.
So, sorry, bank tellers.
Your job was too important. We had to take you out.
Yeah, you run out of zip ties, you just start using body bags.
One thing I'll say is that what I remember from playing this game was that single player, not the greatest experience trying to do this on your own. This
Nah.
game is definitely built as a co-op experience with it's up to 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the first mission by myself just to see what it was all about, and then turned it off and waited for somebody to invite me to a game, because that's not fun.
No, it really is designed as a sort of multiplayer experience. You can I don't know if you really can anymore, because from what I've heard, that it's getting a game with randoms is near impossible.
At this point, I would assume so. Yeah.
The best part of the bank heist though was this guy had a glitch, so he was bent over at like a 90-degree angle. And his hands were like all deformed, so it just looked so funny. Him just running around. All right, guys, follow me this way, and it kind of looked like Timmy or Jimmy from South Park. It was hilarious.
Did anyone screen cap this or
I think
record it or
Chocolate
anything?
took some pictures.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've not seen this yet. I'll be interested because I just think it's just funny me saying, "Yeah, follow me this way." Like we need to be as like not suspicious as possible. I'm just running around like at a right angle everywhere.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. So the one thing, unless I'm mistaken, the one thing that's kind of cool about this is when you go into different missions, don't they kind of, I don't want to say it's procedurally generated, but don't they put different guards and different, like the cameras in different places, kind of so it feels different every time?
Yeah, to a certain extent, like it is a little bit procedural.
A little bit.
Like there's basically maybe about 5 or 6 different variations. Like for that particular bank job that we did for the first mission yesterday, there's maybe only like 2 different spots where the main safe would actually be.
Yeah.
Where the main
Can
bank
be,
vault will
okay.
be, and then there's like a security room that we have to break into so that the security guard that's looking on all the cameras to keep an eye out for everyone. There's maybe only like about 3 different spots where that security room may be.
But still, that ups the replayability,
Yeah.
which is nice.
It does mean that like a mission like that, you definitely want to do a bit of scouting before you don't want to just go in expecting everything to be in the same place. You do need to sort of take the time to look around and work out where everything is. And that's why I think like Moose was saying, that isn't his type of mission. That's why it was pretty much just me and Lion did the bulk of the work, and we just said to Moose and Chocolate, look, just sit back.
Don't put your mask on. Don't put your mask on. Don't put your
yeah. Just sit back and let us do the bulk of it, and we'll give you stuff to do towards the end once all the difficult stuff's out of the way. And
basically sit down and be quiet, and we'll give you a $500,000 when we're done.
Yeah.
Easiest $500,000 you've ever made.
Yep.
But
And then I spent it as quickly as I made it too.
Yeah, definitely. But the second mission that we did, like Moose said, was definitely a sort of spray and pray type mission, where we did.
The third one was my favorite, where we had to go and infiltrate that building. And
yeah, that was like day 2 of like the second. It's like that particular mission was like a 2-part mission. So we had to, like, the first day we had to break a guy out of prison, and the second day was like we had to take that guy that we'd broken out of prison to some sort of FBI office so that he could work out who ratted him out and get all the information and out of this FBI building. And it was hectic.
All I gotta say is whatever city or town that this is in, their police budget is crazy, because these waves of SWAT teams, they had to have about 40 SWAT teams. I don't know how they afford it.
They're calling other counties, bringing them all in.
They called the state.
They called the
National
federal
Guard.
government.
Yeah. But it's a,
you were fighting the army.
It's a fun game. Were you the one that suggested this one, Fist?
It was me that suggested Payday 2. I kind of thought there's a lot of games obviously on Game Pass that they're like sort of you expect them to be sort of top quality games. Like you just like that. Yeah, I thought I want to pick something that's maybe going to be a little bit controversial, something that's in the middle.
Right. But I'd say it's a hit.
This one would be a good one.
From my experience, I had fun. I would suggest definitely going into it with 4 people. And if you've got somebody that's got a little bit of experience, that'll help as well. Because setting up the missions seemed like it was kind of key too, and I did nothing in that part.
No, I did all of that just because I've got the experience with that, and obviously it costs. If you've got the option when it comes to choosing what missions you do, you can go to the map and just wait for particular missions to randomly appear on the map, or you can actually spend money to pick a particular contract to do. And that's just what I was doing. I was spending like $250,000 each time just to do a mission.
Wow.
But that sounds like a lot of money, but obviously with the amount of money
I'm making back,
I've got a stupid amount of money on my game, so that doesn't.
You just have a nest egg.
Yeah,
living that chocolate life.
And there's also
I'm only living it. I'm only living it on the game. He's living it. Like,
That's
But they also have the the slow feed for all the game addicts out there. You got to collect all the masks, you got to collect all the gear, you got to collect all the skins. There's so much to collect in this game that you could play it forever.
I was running around in a Barack Obama mask.
Yep, he sure was. And I think one of them was the Easter Bunny at one point. There's got to be
There's all sorts
a couple
of different
hundred
masks.
masks in
There's
that game, aren't there?
Oh yeah, there's loads. I'm sure I've got another one that's like a Rambo type mask. There's you picked up one that was like a Xenomorph or something yesterday, didn't you?
Yep, it looked like a Power Ranger.
That's awesome.
But I also decided with my first purchase, I was going to be a Middle Eastern prince, and all my guns will be gold plated from now on.
There's not too many other ways to play the game right, I don't think, than that.
Dude, that AK shoots like shit. It is all over the place. I switched to my pistol many a times. A, because I ran out of ammo, and B, because it was way more accurate.
You gotta spend some cash flow. Yep. Upgrade your gun.
Get me some grips.
Yeah, you can unlock all different kind of weapon mods and stuff as you go through the game. If you're playing the game enough, you can do all of that stuff. Extended mags and like muzzles to make it more accurate and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think I bought the gun
to be a little quiet.
A red dot
yeah,
sight,
I had
and an extended mag, and I spent $350,000.
So yeah,
yep.
I had twin Desert Eagles with silencers for like the bank heist mission that we did.
Oh my god,
that sounds so badass.
I feel like a silencer on a Desert Eagle has to be humongous.
Or just
that's a big gun. Yeah, or it just doesn't matter. It's like putting a silencer on a shotgun.
Exactly. Yeah, but then when it's just like the whole reason for that is just because it's pistols. They're easier to conceal. So that's another thing you want to try. If you're going to be stealthy, you don't want to be wearing bulky armor and have like massive weapons that make you more obvious. You're more likely to get spotted from a mile away.
Don't want to have an LMG on your back.
It has, it has a little bit of a Hitman feel to me. You know, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong clothes on, then you're going to bring suspicion, and that just brings trouble.
I would just like to say, though, just to sort of be fair, because I know that there was a lot of discussion about the game, like sort of when it first got announced as like from the Gamepass roulette. The game does have its faults. It's not a perfect game. Like when we first loaded up, like Chocolate was complaining a lot, saying like, "Oh, I wish the controls were tighter."
Well, Chocolate, it's an old game.
Right. It's a fun time. It's worth an hour or two with friends one time.
It is an indie game, I guess, in a way.
I mean, it came out.
It's not perfect
originally
at all. By any means, it's not perfect. It does have a lot of faults. The game, like the controls can be a bit clunky at times. Like it can be, movement can be a little bit heavy at times. But if you're playing it with friends and you're just enjoying the general game, I think you can overlook a lot of the faults that the game has. But that's just my personal. I know there are going to be people that will probably say, yeah. But there are going to be people that will be like, no, I'll give this one a miss, which is, I can understand why they would say that. For me, I would say it's a hit, because if you're just taking it for, if you go into it knowing that it's got its faults and you're willing to overlook them, like by what you can enjoy from it and taking the time to put in your skill points to unlock different abilities and getting weapons that you want, then it's definitely enjoyable. I certainly love running around with a minigun, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
He looked like one of the bosses from Doom. He had this giant minigun with a backpack full of ammo.
If you just picture Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 when he's coming out of the Skynet building with that minigun, that was me in the second mission yesterday. In a Barack Obama mask, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, so any faults that like this was didn't this originally come out last generation? Like this isn't an Xbox One game either, so it's
right,
or not an Xbox,
360
Xbox One. It was an Xbox 360 game, right?
Think so.
I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, take that with your thoughts too. Like it's definitely an older game, so it's not gonna feel super tight. It's not gonna feel like the best game in the world. But as you guys said, set that stuff aside. It's a great little co-op shooter, for sure. And yeah, I definitely give it a hit. So that's a hit from all of us, which means Payday 2 was a hit. I'm trying to sort out in my head when...
It came out in 2013, so yeah, it was quite a ways back.
So right before the Xbox One, probably. Okay. So we're gonna do another. We're gonna pick another game here. I've loaded up everything since we didn't take a poll, but we need a game. So hopefully we don't land on any garbage.
Oh, you didn't just use all the ones from last time?
Nope.
Bummer.
And hold on. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doo. Nope. So we'll do one random and then one with the community every month.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is just to put us all on edge a little bit. All right. Loading everything in. That's what I've been trying to do while you guys have been talking this whole time. So don't mind my lack of feedback. All right. And okay. I think this will be cool. The game we got is For the King, which, if I'm not mistaken, literally just came out.
Would you look
right?
at that? That's cool. Yeah, it just came out
Sweet.
Friday, or I guess
So
Thursday.
I know nothing about this game other than it came out in 2019, so that at least has that going for it, I guess.
I've honestly never even heard of it.
I think we mentioned it.
It got released on Tuesday on PlayStation and then came to Game Pass on Friday, I believe.
Wow, so literally brand new. Hey, well, that's good. I'll take that over, about 90% of these games in Game Pass. As I'm looking through these, I was really just crossing my fingers hoping we didn't land on something terrible.
It could be a good choice, though. Like, for something that's like literally just come out, it gives you a different perspective, because a lot of the other games that have been on the roulette so far are games that have been on Game Pass for a little while at least. So this is something that's just fresh out. It gives you a chance to sort of look at something that's just
a short little summary here. It says, For the King is a strategic RPG that blends tabletop and roguelike elements in a challenging adventure that spans the realms. Set off on a single-player experience or play cooperatively both online and locally. Into
Co-op,
the
all right.
deep adventure, now available. So yeah, it looks like it's a turn-based RPG from the pictures that I'm looking at.
All right, cool. Well, everybody give it a shot. In Discord, we do have the Game Pass Roulette channel. So if you have any feedback, questions, that kind of stuff. I don't think we really had too much for this one. I think Fists gave us most of our feedback, and he just happened to be on the show today, so that worked out just about as well as it could have.
If it weren't for Fists, we wouldn't be having this segment, because I probably wouldn't have played the game.
Right. Thanks for getting us in. All right, guys. Let's get into some news. All right. What is going on in the headlines this week? Chocolate's not here to read these off, so I'm going to throw this first one over to Moose. Sony had their State of Play this past week. What'd they talk about?
It was short and sweet. It was about 10 minutes long, and they touched base on about 5 or 6 games, and I'll run through them here real quick. First up was a little bit long-winded. It was Monster Hunter World Iceborne, which is basically a full new game-sized expansion or DLC. Anybody that owns the game, it's going to cost you $40. Anybody that hasn't bought Monster Hunter World yet, it's going to cost you $60 for the Master Edition, and that includes everything from the original game as well as the new DLC.
So what I saw from this, it just looked like
Monster Hunter World Winter. Yeah, basically. It's Winter Edition. So, winter is coming to Monster Hunter World. A little late, but it's still coming.
Cool.
Next up was River Bond. It's a 3D pixelated top-down smash and grab loot and shoot, kind of like Diablo, something like that. But the artistry is kind of Roblox style. And it seemed like they had a lot of main characters from indie games like Guacamelee. They're all escaping me at this point, but I know Guacamelee was one of the characters. And basically, you just run around and smash and grab, loot and shoot. And for the right price point, I might be in. The next one coming up was Predator Hunting Grounds. It's going to be released sometime in 2020. Basically, think Evolve, but a PS4 exclusive. It's 4 versus 1. You are either a elite marine trying to hunt the predator or the predator trying to kill everything.
That could be fun. It made me sad that Evolve didn't really pan out.
Right.
Because the idea there is just, it's so good.
Yeah, I was one of those people that definitely, I was really looking forward to that game and like played it for all of a few days after it came out because it lost. There wasn't a great deal with it.
Yeah, it was a good base idea. Maybe if Predator Hunting Grounds has learned anything from Evolve, this could stick around and be a good game.
Next up, we got Medieval. It's a complete remake of the PlayStation Classic. It'll be out October 25th, and it's only going to cost you $30. So, kind of along the lines of Spyro and the Crash series, they're bringing back all the games that everybody loved, giving them a shiny new coat of paint and putting them on for half price. So,
and I think, was this the first time we saw the release date?
I believe so. Yeah.
So cool, 10/25.
So not too far off for that. If you're into it, I may check it out if it goes on sale at some point. But I never played it back in the day. Did you guys ever play the first Medieval game?
Only a demo.
Yeah, I never played it.
It seems to be along the lines of like the humor games, kind of like Crash, or there was a game I used to play with a lizard. They used to make all sort of off-colored jokes.
Gex.
And stuff. Gex, there you go. It kind of seems like along the lines of those games, where you've got the blue-collar type humor, but not too bad, so kids can still play and it'll go above their heads. But it could be a fun time. I don't know, if I catch it on sale and nothing better to do. You know me. I've been known to buy games like that.
One or two.
Next up, this one I'm actually pretty intrigued in. I'm going to be paying attention to more of this. It's called Away, the survival series. And from what I take, it's a sugar glider simulator. And you need to go from point A to point B in the Amazon and try not to be eaten by any predators and, sustain yourself along the way.
And for people that don't know what a sugar glider is, it's pretty much just a flying squirrel.
Right. Exactly. I just didn't want to offend the sugar glider community out there.
That's smart.
Next, we've got the limited edition State of Play console. It's another PlayStation Pro console.
And who cares about that? Is literally what you wrote in the show notes. I love it.
And then the last thing they put in was a little more sneak peek of the remake of Final Fantasy VII. But
did we finally get a release date?
Nope, they didn't even hint as what season it may come out. So awesome. It may be next year. It may be 2030. It may be next week. Who knows?
Sony is really good at getting you hyped up for games a few years in advance.
Did they not say there was more information coming out in June or something though?
Probably for
I would say E3,
but not at E3. They're not at E3.
They're going to do something E3-ish, kind of like Nintendo did last year with the whole direct.
They'll have
deal.
their E3 State of Play.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that never actually played Final Fantasy VII. The only one I ever actually played and really got into was 10. But yeah, I saw that trailer for 7 the other day, and it looks really good.
I jumped in at 15.
I definitely have some nostalgia for that one.
I may try this one.
15. Yeah. Skip the first 14. Fair enough.
And that's pretty much it for the Sony State of Play.
All right, cool. Next up, Ghost Recon had its I didn't even write the name of it. Oh my god, that's terrible.
Breakpoint is the new one.
Breakpoint. Yep, I was gonna say Firebreak. That's a character in Blackout. Okay, so Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They debuted that. They had it was a whole little. They showed off a bunch of gameplay. They had the devs on talking about it. To me, this really just looks like Wildlands 2, which so it's weird. John Bernthal is going to be your main bad guy. He's the guy that plays Punisher. He was Shane in The Walking Dead. He's going to be the main antagonist here. But if you're playing Wildlands right now, they recently had their Oracle DLC, which had John Bernthal as a ghost on your team. So they're literally running from one game into the other, and that's why it's confusing that they just went with a different name, which I guess it doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be Ghost Wildland or Wildlands 2, but it kind of is. It's literally
absolutely.
the same gameplay, same squad,
They just
the
did the
same
same thing they
like
did with the
co-op
Division
action.
and made a new game and put some different kinds of trees and flowers in. And I think everybody's gonna like it.
Yeah, so this takes place on like a tropical island that has what seems like 100 different biomes. It's like, oh, there's snow here, there's the beach here, there's the Amazon here, there's a volcano over here. It looks very diverse. The things that I would say look different or kind of separate it from Wildlands is they're adding like active camouflage with your environment. Think the most recent Tomb Raider game, how you could like cover yourself in mud and then like hide either on the ground or like up against walls while you were covered in mud. It'll also obviously for enemies that are using thermals. If you're covered in mud, you're going to be good because the task force that's hunting you are called wolves, and they are highly trained, obviously, and have all that type of equipment. So I think they needed to add the camo just as a way to counter the wolves trying to get at you.
I think it's quite funny they'd introduced that, considering one of the DLCs from Wildlands was that Predator one, wasn't there?
When there was actually
Right?
Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then they also added a more realistic damage, I guess is how I would say it. There's different stages to how you get hurt now. So if you start off, you take X amount of damage, you're going to start like limping, but you can still fire your normal gun. And then if you take more damage without healing yourself, you're going to go into a state where you can only use your pistol. And then it takes it all the way down to you're pretty much like crawling with just your pistol until your teammates can revive you. Another cool thing they're doing is for solo players, if you don't want to play with the AI characters, you're not forced into playing with 4 people anymore. You can play solo, and they made it so if you want to like sync shot, which is something you could do in the old game where everybody could pick out their target
Right.
and then everybody snipes, you actually throw up 3 little drones and you can tell them where to go, and then you guys can all fire at the same time. So they are trying to cater to the solo player. But if I learned anything from the original Wildlands, that game is much more fun
yeah.
with a group of people.
Oh, it's about impossible to solo that game. I tried.
That I could see that, especially depending on what difficulty you're on.
Because as soon as one guy sees you, you've got 67 pissed off dudes shooting guns at you.
Pretty much instantly. Yeah, it looks really good. Definitely a graphical upgrade. Seems like there's going to be a lot more drones. This seems heavily tech inspired as far as what you're fighting against besides the wolves.
Just getting us ready for Splinter Cell.
Yeah, we'll see. That was really it for that, though. The trailer for it is up everywhere, and you can watch that whole little stream they had. Good stuff. All right, up next in the news. All right, this is a fun one. Classic Minecraft. So to celebrate Minecraft's 10th anniversary, they're bringing OG Minecraft to web browser. So this is now a browser game. If you are sitting on any computer, you can go to the Minecraft website and start this up, and then you're playing original Minecraft where there was no enemies to fight against. There was only 32 different blocks, and half of those were dyed wool or dyed blocks, I guess. I don't know if it was wool. So I booted this up when I was at work, and you can send invites to people. You just send them. It just ends up being a URL that they would click, and it would put them into your game. Man, has Minecraft come a long way from those original days. It's crazy.
I haven't played it, so I'm actually trying to download it right now.
Well, that's the thing. You shouldn't even have to download it. It should just be browser-based, so once you find the link, if you just click it, you should be in there.
Yep, it's got to download it for me.
Okay. Either way, cool little thing for the community. Just if you want to hop in. You can't save, though, and it's completely creative mode. So keep those things in mind. Just a nice little treat for everybody. Okay, Sony is finally getting EA access this July. This was after in 2014 they put out a statement that said they're not interested in EA access because it doesn't bring enough value to their console. And it's been on Xbox ever since. But for you, Sony...
EA's been having some banner years, so I guess the value has gone up, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get a handle on the decisions they make and the things they say and put out in press releases and stuff, so whatever.
But it's there now.
So yeah, anyone on a PlayStation, you now have EA access coming out this July. It is kind of weird though because they're not going to have all the back compat games. I don't think like all those 360 back compat games
vault
that we get through it. I mean, there's going to be a vault, but I just don't think it's going to have any PS3 games.
Oh.
So like the old skate games won't be in there. The old like
with the car racing
were in there.
games. I think they had
anything
Need for Speed Underground, something like
older.
that.
Yep, the Need for Speed games. So yeah, check that out.
But it's really worth it. I don't know. I didn't look into it, but I assume they have the same deal where you get 10% off games. And, you know, if a game is $60 and it's an EA title, it's worth picking up EA access for 1 month to pay $55 for the game. Because basically you get it for free.
And I think a year subscription.
It's like $22 or something like that. You can find a code.
Yeah, it's super cheap. So definitely worth the money. Okay, up next, we're getting a John Wick video game, guys.
Yes.
Crazy Keanu Reeves just murdering people.
Just don't kill the man's dog and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I wonder if that ties into
Spoilers.
it at all. I don't. Oh, yeah, if you haven't seen John Wick, the first one at least, what are you doing? That's your homework. Get it done. So this is the Bithell company making this, which seems like an odd choice. They were the people that made Thomas Was Alone. That was that game that was about shapes, moving shapes around, and they talked and stuff. Real weird translation, or a real weird transition from Thomas Was Alone into this John Wick game. But it is a cel-shaded fight choreographed chess brought to life as a video game, is how they put it. It reminded me, if anyone's played the game Transistor, you kind of lay out your moves ahead of time, and you have like X amount of stamina or like moves to make, and then it kind of happens in real time. Which I think John Wick is a perfect game for something like that, or a perfect topic for that, because some of the stunts he pulls off and shots he makes are ridiculous. So I think having this in as like a turn-based kind of shooting game is cool. So
yeah, I don't think your hands
could
move fast enough for it to be action-based, right?
No way. You'd get just murdered. It
kind
of
have to slow everything down into what's it called? Max Payne mode.
Or like super hot. If you've ever played
super
that.
hot, same thing.
Or bullet time.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what it was called. It's not a ton of information, but there is a trailer out for that, so check it out. It's called John Wick Hex. All right, next story. These are all about mobile games, so that's fun. So this first one, Dead Cells and Apex Legends are both coming to mobile. How do you guys think that's going to be? Dead Cells, when I think about the amount of just how precise you have to be.
That's going to be tough.
It's going to be
unless you have a controller Bluetooth linked to your phone, or have one of those contraptions that basically turns your phone into a controller. I don't know how you could play Dead Cells, but maybe they're going to dumb it down. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a video that the people that are porting it over put out showing like how they are optimizing it for phones, and that was super interesting, and it looks good. If you see somebody playing it who has been working on it, at least they make it look like this runs perfectly. Right. So,
but they've also got 100 hours
with enough
in
time, sure. Yeah, exactly. So I think you could get good at it potentially. I just, when I first heard this, I was like, man, there's no way that's going to be fun, because it's hard enough when you have a controller and have that much precision. Put it on a mobile phone, and It's gonna be tough for
Right.
everybody.
How do you think Apex is going to do? Because I haven't really played the online shooters, i.e. Fortnite or PUBG Mobile, so I don't know.
I mean, like I've never played PUBG Mobile. As those of you that have heard me on here before, I do play a lot of PUBG with Lion, and occasionally Sweeney as well. And PUBG Mobile, from what I've heard, is actually quite a popular mobile game. It does seem that it's doing all right for itself.
It's good too.
Yeah.
I've played some of it. I think it's pretty good.
So the only difference, I think, is the fact that Apex is first person, whereas like PUBG Mobile, from what I understand, is only available third person. So I don't know exactly how much more difficult Apex would be on mobile with it. If they're gonna switch it to third person, it may work a bit easier. Maybe, I don't know. But I think I could see why they're attempting it. There's the potential for it to do well, I think.
Well, isn't mobile still the biggest gaming market?
Yeah, especially in not our country, obviously, but
like China,
in the East for sure.
Everybody's got a smart device. Not everybody has a console or a PC they can play on.
Yeah, just being, and even because I play a lot of phone games, so like Fortnite, I've also tried that, and that was another game where if you could figure it out and get good at it, it ran perfectly fine.
You were using that to do all your dailies in the battle pass, right?
Yeah, that made it so much easy. Like take a bathroom break and go pick up the stars or whatever you needed to grab for your battle pass. You'll also be able to work on that stuff for Apex. So having that on the go, I think, why not?
Sure.
If they can do it and make it play
if
well,
it runs well,
it's a good move for sure.
Get your game in as many hands as possible.
All right, and this last one actually has to do with PUBG Mobile, funny enough. But it's no longer going to be called PUBG Mobile in China. So this...
Wow.
What I had read is that this is a patriotic rebrand due to some of China's strict rules not allowing in-game purchases. So they had to make some changes to PUBG Mobile, and some of those include reducing all blood and gore. Also, now when you kill people, they are going to sit down and wave goodbye to you in a very happy way. We're sunshine, rainbows, butterflies, unicorns, that kind of stuff. But for real, this is literally just a rebrand of the name, even though they're calling it Game of Peace.
That's
now.
hilarious.
So if you're in China listening, PUBG Mobile might not be on your phone anymore. Look out for a new game called Game of Peace sitting there. That might be confusing.
It may be a little different from the last time you played it.
Where's my PUBG gone? When did I install Game of Peace?
Game of Peace. And China's a huge market. At certain points, they've got 70 million daily players on PUBG Mobile.
Jeez.
For that's 70 million people who no longer have PUBG Mobile and now have Game of Peace, where flowers pop out of your body and you sit down and wave goodbye peacefully when you're killed. But I mean, the reason they're doing this is so that they can try to get in-game purchases in there. I'm assuming you just can't have in-game purchases if your game
has other bad stuff.
Has other bad stuff, I guess. It's so weird, dude. But when I saw that PUBG was turning into Game of Peace, I had to include it.
Game of Peace instantly reaches #1 in the mobile sales in China.
Yeah, right? Exactly. All of your progress is going to carry over from PUBG Mobile, which is even funnier. Like, this is completely not a new game. They're just changing the title.
Are they changing the name of all the weapons and stuff? Are they going to even be weapons anymore?
They're just going to be like Nerf guns and
snowball
guns
fights
and stuff.
And water
Super
guns,
Soaker 500.
Water balloons
Super
instead of grenades.
Fights.
Basically, they're turning it into Splatoon.
God. Yeah, right? I bet you can have in-game purchases in Splatoon in China.
Yeah, because you're just shooting paint.
Yep. That's it for our news stories, though, this week. We do have some new games coming out, though. So, Moose, tell us what's coming out.
All right, coming up this week, this one's been pretty widely anticipated since it got leaked and ruined E3 last year about this time. Release date's May 14th. I'm talking about, of course, Rage 2, also known as, what is it, Mad Max 2, but no license, so Rage 2 it is.
Yep.
Let's see. A Plague Tale: Innocence is out May 14th. And then it looks like they've got the Castlevania Anniversary Edition coming out the same day, or actually May 16th. And that entails Castlevania, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, Super Castlevania 4, Castlevania The Adventure, Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge, Kid Dracula, and finally, Castlevania Bloodlines. So if you were...
That's a lot of Castlevania.
Yeah, if you were into Castlevania, you already know this is coming out, and you are sitting in line at GameStop.
I love that there's like just one game out of all of those in that anniversary edition that just doesn't have Castlevania in the title.
Well, the best one's
Kid
not even
Dracula.
in it. Isn't Symphony of the Night the best Castlevania game?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that what the first one was called, though?
No, I thought I thought Symphony of the Night's the first one that came out on like the newer console, either PS3 or PS4.
No, that could be.
But I don't know. I haven't played it, so I'm just...
I don't know anything about
Let us know
Castlevania.
in Discord how we're wrong.
Oh, no, we're definitely wrong. Because Castlevania Symphony of the Night came out in 1997.
Okay, yep, definitely wrong. My bad. And then, let's see. Bubsy, Paws on Fire.
Bubsy?
May 16th.
I remember Bubsy.
Bubsy the Bobcat.
Well, it looks like he's
Yep.
got a new story to come out, so...
Getting a new game, sweet.
3D platformer, right?
Yep. Before you move on, A Plague Tale: Innocence. That was one that you had said. I watched like a 30-minute gameplay video for this a long time ago. It takes place in the Middle Ages with when the plagues were going on and whatnot. This game has this mechanic where rats will try to kill you, like hordes of rats on the ground, unless you have fire. And it is some of the most tense, like, just walking around a map. It doesn't look like you have weapons, per se, because you're playing as a little girl and her brother, I think, trying to get through all this. And then there's obviously bad guys from the weird, like, cult that you're trying to get around. But the whole mechanic where these rats, it was just some of the creepiest gameplay, because the game actually looks really good graphically. But knowing that you couldn't really walk out of certain places without these rats just murdering you, the way it looks, it reminds me of like World War Z zombies. Just
So, like...
how they like climb up walls and
like
stuff.
Vermintide, they just haven't mutated into walking, talking rats yet.
Yeah, just the most savage rats ever. So definitely check that one out.
I
It's
won't be
cool.
doing that. Sounds spooky.
Might be.
And we got some new free Switch Online games this week. If you are subscribed to the Switch Online service, Donkey Kong Jr. versus Excite Bike and Clue Clue Land all come out on the 15th. I'm going to check out versus Excite Bike because if it's anything like the original Excite Bike, I'm in.
And Donkey Kong Jr. is one of my more beloved NES games. Used to play that with my dad all the time.
The one
So
with the vines,
that's
right?
a good one.
Okay.
Yep, sure is.
What on earth is Clue Clue Land?
No idea.
And then just one little PSA here also. Nintendo has announced their E3 Direct. It's going to be on June 11th at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. your guys' time.
British people time.
And I think that's
BPT.
about it for out this week, unless you guys know of anything else.
I think that's all the stuff that matters. All right. Well, hey, we did it. We got through a show without chocolate. I don't know how we did it, guys,
Just like
but we
every week.
managed.
I think it went a lot smoother without him, if I'm being honest.
Love you, chocolate. All right, let's plug this thing up. If you want to keep up with us on the daily, you can head on over to Discord. Links for that are in the show notes. Everything takes place in Discord, guys. The community play stuff, setting that all up. The Gamepass roulette channels. There's people on LFGs looking to play Sea of Thieves. Sports, everybody's talking about the Premier League and missing podcasts because of it. Everything happens there. So definitely come check it out. Link for that is in the show notes. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. We just had our Patreon episode today, obviously, so shout out to Tro for winning that. If you want to get in on the drawing, either show up for the live show or this is how you get your extra entries, patreon.com/CAG podcast. And then I did want to shout out our top tier contributors. That's Chindocta and Chaotic. Thanks, guys. We appreciate everyone's support, but you guys go above and beyond.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You the dudes. If you'd like to stay up to date with Cross Atlantic Gaming on the socials, on Twitter and Instagram, we are at CAG Podcast. And then if you need to reach out to us via email for any reason, cagpodcast@gmail.com. And then we have the website, Cross Atlantic Gaming. I don't know how long that's sticking around. Doc really had that all sorted himself, so we'll see if we have a website come next episode. But for now, it's there and it's got links to everything. If you want to find me for anything, which I don't know why you would, Risky the Kid everywhere. Moose, how about you?
Missionstein8314 on Discord, Xbox. Just join Discord and look in gamer tags, and that's where you find all our information. Twitter. And PlayStation is JDub121483, I believe. So I haven't changed it yet.
Yeah, we need to fix that for you.
I just haven't turned on my PlayStation since it's been available.
That's fair. And Fists, how about you?
And I am Chocolate Bear 80 everywhere.
There you go.
I love
He's
it.
10,000 Fists, but it's all Leet speak. So go to Risky or my friends list and look for him there.
Yeah, you'll never find me direct. You need to find me through other people.
There's lots of zeros and ones and numbers when it
says
should be
10,000
letters.
Fists, but it's in binary.
Us.
So good luck with that.
Fist man, thanks for being on the show.
No problem.
Hopefully you didn't miss too much soccer today.
Well, I'm an Arsenal fan, and we're not fighting for anything today, so it was just a matter of watching it for the sake of watching it for me. So
go Spurs
I can
then,
understand why other. Huh?
Go Spurs.
No.
He's a bit. They're mortal.
See,
no.
all of our British fans will completely understand why I would not be wanting Spurs to be winning when I've just said I'm an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, exactly. They're mortal enemies.
Yep, I didn't know that. Hey, learn something new every day.
Also, just real quick, I want to give a shout out. My wife does listen. Today's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. You're the best. Love you.
Hey, Mom. Happy Mother's Day to you, too. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Later.
See you guys.
All right. Who brought the best dad jokes? Chocolate isn't here. Somebody's got to do it.
I think we should do mom jokes, but I can't.
I wasn't prepared for that.
Uh-oh. Mom jokes just all kind of sound like they would be yo mama jokes, and those are all offensive.
Right. All right. Did you hear about the mathematician who's afraid of negative numbers? He'll stop at nothing to avoid them.
Oh, God.
What's Forrest Gump's password? 1, Forrest, 1.
That's bad.
Fist,
it's your turn.
My laptop doesn't run anywhere near fast enough for me to get a joke in preparation in time.
I got one that my daughter always loves. How do you make a tissue dance?
Put a little boogie in it.
Nailed it.
All right, last one. If you see a robbery at an Apple store, does that make you an eyewitness?
God, that's terrible.